Good morning and welcome to episode 6 of Digital League of Assessment Professionals, hosted by Passion for Performance. Passion for Performance continues to be the leading e-assessment platform in South Africa. In our experience, we've been exploring and searching for a way to create an assessment in the a space for assessment in the digital world. Sorry about that. Hence the birth of DLab. DLab is a collective of assessors especially created to professionalize assessment within the digital space. My name is Gabriel Leroux. I'm a small business owner and I'm also a trainer within the pro audio space. And I'm a brand ambassador for a product called Soundcraft, you can see behind me. This morning we're talking to Colin Carmody about the motivations for assessors to be part of the DLab revolution. Good morning, Colin. How are you doing?
Good morning, Gabriel. Well, and yourself?
Very well, thank you. Can you maybe just give yourself a quick introduction, a little bit about your background?
Yeah, sure. I'm a learning and development manager. I've been in this space for nearly 20 years in the gaming and hospitality sectors. Started the early years of my career as facilitating and assessing waiters and bartenders when there were no standards for how to be a bartender and how to flair very nicely. So spent a lot of time designing assessment tools in that space.
That's awesome. Let's dive into the questions. What will set assessors apart in the new paradigm?
Right. Yeah, what's going to set people apart? Things are changing in this field. Our world is changing, and your ability to be able to assess digitally is going to be important. You're looking at your VAX principles in a very changing online environment. And while most people think you can just take what you're doing now, assessing now, and copy and paste it into a online environment, it's not necessarily true. There are going to be some nuances in a different working environment. And where most assessors are connected via associations to training providers, maybe they're assessor and facilitators, a lot of that is on personal relationships and networks. And what's going to set you apart in the future is not just that kind of collaboration, but your ability to work in an online environment.
That's awesome. What would you say is those metrics that are different, going from assessing someone in person than assessing them on an online platform?
Well, a lot of work has to be done with the different seaters in this country, with getting them on board as well to accept the assessment that will be done digitally. Here, we're going to be looking at your ability to look at different artifacts within the assessment space and be able to give a concise and consistent assessment on the competence of a learner in the digital space. Remember, you're not in this kind of paradigm. You're not seeing the person face to face, and you can't sit there and tick off a tick box. So in essence, you're going to have to look at the evidence that somebody's provided through videos and through voice recordings or stuff we haven't thought of yet, but all the kind of evidence that they can provide in a digital platform. You're going to have to give a good assessment on that.
Awesome. What are assessors looking for in this new normal?
Sure. What's everybody looking for in the new normal besides normality? Things are changing so much. I think that the principles of what people are looking for haven't changed. People want to work autonomously. I think a lot of people have got the taste for that now in the new working environment. So I can imagine that people are still wanting to work from home when they want to, with who they want to. And the Digital League is providing a platform for you to be able to do that as a professional assessor. And then, I suppose mastery as well. This is something different. You're going to want to be good at it. You're going to want to have to master working on a digital space. And what the Digital League is offering assessors is a challenge. We're throwing it out there and we're challenging you, and we're going to put you on a quest. Um, we've looked at our assessment principles, and we've used Bloom's taxonomy as a guideline, and you'll be able to test yourself against that and show that you can master the fundamental skills of and competencies of assessing online, and you can move your ways all the way up to adding real value to the industry and to the community. Um, yeah, that's a one area to think of and to look at. Sure. What else? Probably giving assessors a sense of purpose in where we're going with this. We don't know what the fourth industrial revolution is really going to throw at us in the next couple of years. I mean, we can guess, but we're not clairvoyant. We can make some pretty good educated guesses, but things are going to change constantly. And if you're in the assessment field, do you want to add to that? Do you want to be a part of that growth and that change? And I think the Digital League is offering that as well. So you're either going to be in it to win it, or you're going to be left behind. And I think our success is going to be defined by how agile we are and how adaptable we are.
There's definitely like a sense of ownership when it comes to the space that we're in at the moment. I think that it kind of applies to everyone's work, but within this space as well, making this shift. If you don't own it, you're not going to survive.
Yeah, 100%. It's the choice of the quick and the dead.
Yeah, absolutely. According to you, who would be the people that are interested in joining DLab?
Right. So DLab's not just for those who hold an assessor ticket necessarily. Assessment skills and assessment practices are a vital management skill as well. And if you're an organization that has a lot of people working remotely, you're going to want to know that your team leaders can assess the work of their teams in a digital space. And that becomes an essential management skill. So whether you're using that for performance management or measuring productivity, I think we have the platform that allows us to explore that ability and to get recognized for it.
That's awesome. What are the benefits, according to you, for joining DLab? Where is it taking us? What's this journey?
Yeah. So what's in it for me as an assessor? What's the benefits there? Hey? Well, primarily it's the chance to join a professional body. We're growing the recognition of that, and you can say you're part of the forefront, the leaders in e-learning digital assessment platforms. And I think the ability to do assessments online, to work to assess digitally and remotely, the demand for that's just going to grow. If you're a training provider who hasn't transferred all of their content into a digital space yet, you're probably behind the curve. And the same goes for the assessor there. What's going to make a difference is, as a training provider, can you provide digital learning that's also succinctly assessed and credibly assessed, so that qualifications can come out of it. So as an assessor, be part of that. You can be part of something that proves that. Okay. And then we're also looking for people who are going to add value to this community. If you're part of the Digital League, you can do that. You can be part of the community. You can share ideas, share what you're doing differently with other people, and across different industries. I mean, look at yourself. You're an assessor in your space as well, and a facilitator. What is that going to look like in this kind of space?
Definitely opens it up globally as well. I don't know what your thoughts is on that, but it's something I've seen in our industry as well. And my wife's an industrial psychologist, and all of a sudden, we're not just doing work in Johannesburg, we're doing work overseas because we
Right.
can. People are kind of open to that, as right. I don't know what
Mm.
your thoughts are on that. Obviously, this is such a new
Yeah,
concept, but I mean, it's kind of going that way, isn't it?
I mean, this is portability as well.
Yeah.
You could work anywhere and be part of this, and you don't have to have all the paperwork shipped to you or couriered to you for you for you to sit and paper-based do
Yeah.
marking. That's out the window. So yay, no more storage fees, no more paperwork.
Mm.
That's a great benefit of being part of this. Um, and also, I guess you can, as an assessor, if you're charging for your services by the hour, you can benchmark yourself on the Digital League platform for what you think your value is and what cost you can be charging to training providers and companies for your services.
That's awesome. I've got a question here from Facebook. What are the key elements that
Mm.
drive assessment?
What are the
What are the key elements that drive assessment?
Um, well, we are putting together a rubrics of the different areas that we're going to look at for assessing on a digital platform. So that includes, your VAX principles, your principles of feedback, um, looking at different artifacts. So we've got a wide range of areas that we're going to be checking out and looking at it holistically.
Awesome. I see Darren's commented here that there's 100 new assessors who have joined DLab in the past 4 weeks.
Right.
So we're getting
Right.
some nice traction. I think it's a new concept, and we're all kind of forcing into making this transition, but it's happening, eh? It's happening whether
Right.
whether you like it or not. Everything's going digital.
Yeah. I mean, it's day 492 of the lockdown in 18 hours. What have you been doing with your time if you haven't joined the Digital League?
Yeah,
You know?
that's that's true. What is the criteria to becoming part of DLab? So if I want to join in, do I need to be an assessor already? You kind of touched on it briefly, but maybe just elaborate a little bit more.
Right. So, we can imagine that the majority of people who would join the Digital League are going to be people who hold a assessor's certificate. But that's not the only market here. So if you're an assessor and you want to test your ability in the online space, great. But like I say, this is a platform that management can use. I think it was one of our previous colleagues said, if you're not measuring it, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
And so that fits so well in a corporate space. If you are a manager and you're assessing, you can join the league and go for your badge, get the recognition there as well. That's going to be something to put onto your CV. So we've got a set of criteria that we're busy tinkering with and we're working on very very closely, where we can assess your ability to assess online, and we'll measure you against those standards. So anybody can really join and test their ability against those standards, and we can work out what your gap is from there, and you can figure out whether you want to be a master in any of those areas and be an expert in any of those areas, or if you're happy with just getting the foundational competence in.
I think there's also, we spoke about this the other day as well, but there's a lot of assessment that kind of naturally happens within the workspace, and we don't formally think about it as assessment. But now, because we're not seeing each other, or the manager is not seeing, the people working underneath him or her, there's going to be some process that's going to need to be put in place to actually make sure that assessment or that person is working at a certain level, right?
Exactly.
There's another Facebook question, actually another two. Does the DLab not contradict what CETAs were supposed to do?
Yeah, we had a bit of a discussion around this. The CETAs, once you've got your assessor certificate, you do your training and you get qualified and great, what then? What's going to set you apart? The realization for us was that there's a vastly different quality in assessors out there. This is something that you can continue with and get CPD points, really connecting to that, so that you can earn some CPD points as well and get recognition in that space. So I don't want to say we're contradicting what the CETAs are supposed to be doing, but certainly we're enhancing it and we're evolving it. Is the best way that I can put it.
Awesome. Well, there's another question that kind of follows down the same narrative, but it's asking the question on BE. Didn't BE go down this route, and weren't they trying to do the same thing? That's also from Facebook. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
No, I don't. So we're not looking into that space at all.
So I'm going to see if there's any other questions here. Is there anything else you want to add, maybe, that we didn't talk on?
Yeah. No, that's it. It would be interesting. I mean, there's so many questions that come out of this, and I love the questions from Facebook. We should turn that question back to the community and say, well, what would you like to see in it, actually?
Yeah.
What element of BEE would you want or expect out of a system like this? And that's the great thing about what we're doing is we are involving the community and the assessment community and adding value to this.
Awesome. In closing, if you would like to join the assessor database, you need to speak to Vio. Do you want to maybe talk a little bit about Vio and what and who Vio is?
Vio is a good friend of mine. He's pretty cool. All you need to do is to follow the links on in LinkedIn or P4P's Facebook page to sign up as an assessor. Vio is our homegrown chatbot that will speak you through the process and ask you a couple of questions.
Awesome. I'll ask Darren as well to make sure that link is in the description. Great. Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for talking to us.
Okay. Cheers, Gavin.
Thank you. Keep well. Cheers. Bye-bye.